Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. And it's the Matrix you are. The Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger. Daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's the woman feeling out of 10? Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam that like button. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin is sitting at $118,542. Is it time to panic ski? And the answer is, let's get a red day. How about that? Because we couldn't even close the day red. So let's get a red day before we do maybe any analysis at all. But on the 5-hour chart, we did have a break from 124 all the way back to 117. And this just touched back to the 100 moving average. Still, though, in the full-on most bullish posture for the 5-hour. And the 2-hour, we got all the way down to the 200 moving average and found support there, starting to slope ourselves back up on the RSI. So that's pretty much what I anticipate. We got pretty oversold on the 1 hour, so I think that was probably it. We'll see. Generally, though, 118 to me is proper value for Bitcoin. That's literally where I think that the value is. That was my target for Bitcoin when we were at $75,000. That was my target for Bitcoin, was $118,000. So to me, that is properly and fairly valued. But we will see. So I'm going to give it some time, but ultimately properly valued in my opinion. I've been saying that I am neutrally bullish on Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. I do think that they will continue to rise, but to me, the next phase is all about others from here on out. So my targets for Bitcoin still 138,000 as high as 207,000. Really not even a 1x from here. What is that actually? Like, what is the exact target for 207,000? That's a 72% gain from here. That's what I think is left for Bitcoin. Not even a 1x. Okay. Ethereum, same thing. Like, literally, just straight up vertical. Like, let's get a red day before we freak out, y'all. Let us get a red day. Can we just get a red day before we freak out? And all this did was just backtest the 20 moving average. We got all the way back down to 4,400 from 4,700. And I would just like to remind you guys that, hey, earlier this week, Ethereum was at, what is today? The 14th. All right, let's go a week ago. So to the 7th, Ethereum was at $3,500 a week ago. It's amazing how quickly, again, nothing quite like price will change sentiment. How quickly people are like, bear market, which 2, 3, 4, 5% correction. Ethereum about a week ago, was $3,500. Do you understand? So I put in some longs this morning. I took the opportunity that was presented to me, and I took appropriate action. Bitcoin Dominance, though, still falling off a cliff. This is a beautiful thing, in my opinion. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful, magnificent, glorious. XRP still hanging out at the 20 moving average here. Nothing really to say about XRP. Again, I am neutrally bullish on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. To me, that is not the play. The play is others, which is everything outside of the top 10. That is what I think it's Brucey's time to shine on. Okay? And with that, let's get you guys' questions, comments, concerns. We'll start on TikTok today because we started on YouTube yesterday. It says, Skis, notice me. I'm noticing you, notice me, noticing you. I'm noticing that you are noticing me, noticing you, noticing me, noticing you. All right? Today we got another banger. Can we look at the TON chart? What do you think of Theta network will do? I like Theta. But ski, what's up, Solnic community? By the way, Solnic held up really strong. In simple words, what will happen now? In simple words, what will happen now? Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP will continue to be neutrally bullish. Others, in my opinion, is going to continue to rise in August and have a correction in September, followed by going absolutely euphoric in October, November. That is my predictions. H-bar, long term. This cycle, my target is 66 cents, 88 cents, 120. I lost a 1K on Ethereum today. It was a red day. Great, bro. What are you up from a week ago? What are you up from a week ago when it was at 3,500? Don't tell me you bought yesterday was the first time you bought Ethereum. Because I've been long at Ethereum publicly since 2,300. Publicly since 2,300. Publicly since 2,300, my brethren. Publicly since 2,300. We've been bullish on Ethereum. How long was that? A year ago? What was that? 2 years ago? Was that 20 months ago? How long ago was that? Oh, right. 52 days ago. Come on now. Right here is the same chart. This little bull flag right here. Yeah, that's the same spot that we put this out. Publicly. Ethereum was at 2,300. When was that? Was that 2 years ago? Was that 20 months ago? I forget. All right, June 25th. 52 days ago. Come on now. Not even 2 months. Not even 2 months. 88 ETC .uni. Yes, I think those are all good plays. Can anyone else hear static noise only on this live for me? I don't know if there's static or not. H bar at 60 cents will stretch the cycle. I know, bro. You have to have to show off. Please give me Ton deep analysis. What are your top 5 others plays? VeChain, Flux, Solnic. I'll give you the rest. Will be just blue chips. Uni. Quant. What else? What else? I like Uni a lot here. I still like ICP. VeChain. That 3. Quant. XCC. There you go. Is that 5? I think so. He says, I hear it, I hear it, I hear it. There's a bit of static. Is that better? Good now? Static is gone now. Okay, my thing was unplugged a little bit. All right, let's look at the YouTube chat. 10 out of 10. I can't have nothing. It says, hey, Izzy, would you be looking for longs? at this range. I longed some stuff this morning like a sniper. 88 pumped. Will 88 be worse, or will September be worse than this dip? Probably, yes. But it would imply that, like, we're going to go up more. Why do you like ICP? Same reason as I like everything else. Strictly TA. Strictly risk to reward. Let's just look at the market cap. It's been trending up. And also, like, even in the short term, we are, like, flirting with getting above the 200. We've been putting in higher lows for a while now. On the macro, we've been putting in higher lows. This is classic Wyckoff accumulation to me. I think at a minimum, I mean, $20 minimum. I think for ICP. Any thoughts on Crow? I like Crow. What do you think of today's chart if you see 1 minute chart on Bitcoin? Bro, I don't look at the 1 minute chart. That's not what I do. You're rare to find me looking at the 1 hour chart. Really? The lowest I really go is the 5 hour chart. That's about as low as I normally will go. Every now and again, you'll see me on the 3 hour. You won't find me lower than the 1 hour. Like, I'm never going to make analysis based off of anything lower than 1 hour. Never. And I don't put that much weight in the 1 hour, to be honest with you. Your 1 minute chart, yeah, like that tells you almost nothing in my opinion. XYO versus VeChain. I think XYO will probably do better numbers. Can you look? But I like them both. I like both of those. Can you look at Chainlink Ski? I like Chainlink. Let's look at Ton. My man's been asking. Then we'll look at Chainlink. Yeah, I don't 1 hour chart or 1 minute chart. Like, miss me with that, bro. I'm cool. I'm cool on the 1 minute chart. Miss me with that, my boy. What do we got here? I haven't updated this in a while. Let me delete this. All right. I don't mind this. This is clear distribution. You're clear markdown. You look like you're accumulating pretty good here. For Tron. Or Ton. Retracement. By the way, I drew this out already. Because it's basically exactly what I think is going to happen. I drew this out over here. So I think we're pretty deep in accumulation for this particular project. Retracement is $15 billion market cap. That's about 75% gained from here. Parabolic is a $57 billion market cap. That's a 5.5x from here. Why, Izzy says, why do you use the 5 hour chart? What significance does it have? It doesn't have any real significance other than like in numerology. I think that 5 is a bigger number than 4. But the real reason that I do it, honestly, I don't want to be looking at the same thing as everyone else. And the 4 and 5 hour chart are close enough. They're basically the same thing, right? But I'm going to have a slightly different perspective than everyone else. I don't want to have the same thoughts as everyone else. I want to arrive at my conclusions by my analysis. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you can know one thing for certain, one thing for sure, and 2 things are for certain. I got to that conclusion by my own analysis. Right, wrong, or indifferent, one thing is for sure, 2 things are for certain. I got there by myself. Okay? That doesn't mean I'm always right. I put my track record against anybody. But why do I look at the 3 hour and the 5 hour instead of the 4 hour? I don't want to look at the 4 hour because everyone else looks at the 4 hour. I want to have a slightly different view than everybody else, if possible. I don't want to be on the same stream of consciousness as everybody else. I actively try very hard not to be on the same stream of consciousness as everybody else. I actively, very hardly, try to figure out what is retail doing, what is retail feeling, and I'm going to trade the opposite of that because I've never seen retail be correct about anything. Never. Retail doesn't have any money, Ski. Good. Good. Because when they do, it's time to... it's over. We're cooked. If Bitcoin goes to 207, will VeChain hit 60 cents? Thank you. I think decent. Yeah. My targets for VeChain are 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. VeChain reaching $50 billion market cap. Is VeChain reaching a $50 billion market cap? Retracement is 10 billion. Parabolic is 44 billion. Maximum parabolic is 60 billion. So it could. I don't know that that's probable, but it is plausible that it reaches 50 billion. Yeah, it's just slightly above parabolic and slightly under maximum parabolic. So it could reach 50 billion. I would say the likely is going to be 27 billion. Bitcoin price prediction. My Bitcoin price prediction since $16,000. Since 2022, when Bitcoin was at $16,000, with video evidence, has been $207,000. 138 is my medium case. 118 was my bear case since 16K. That was a 10x ago. Since 16K. Not quite a 10x. That's been my analysis. How's XRP looking after the brutal drop this morning? Bounced hard at $3. I think $3 is a psychological level. We've been talking about this. One thing I actually made an Ethereum video. I haven't posted it yet. I'll just give you guys the tea. You guys ready for the tea? All right, I'm not going to say that again. Don't let me say that again. All right, stop me. This is true for XRP. This is true for Ethereum. This is true for a lot of assets. One thing you see is when you attempt to get above the all-time high, it's kind of rare that you just bust through it. I'm going to give you the example of Bitcoin. Here was the all-time high in January of 2025. We see rejection, and then finally breaking above. That is a pretty common practice. Same thing over here. March of 2024, that was attempting to get above the all-time high. And listen, you have to use a little bit of discretion. People are like, gee, all-time high. We got to 74. It was 69. Now it's 74. All-time high. Yes, that's technically true. But from a structural standpoint, it's not a firm leg higher, right? This is in the realm of margin, the realm of discretion, right? And the same thing, rejection at the key level before finally breaking through. You see this again and again and again on different assets. Here's the previous all-time high in 2017. Rejection before breaking through for Bitcoin. It's pretty common. And basically, why am I saying this? Here's Bitcoin in 2017 from the all-time high of 2013. Rejection, and then finally breakthrough. By the way, silly willies, traders will be like, triple top. Head and shoulders, triple trap. Look at this. Look at this. This is what traders will do. Bro. Do not take investment advice from a trader. All right? You got your shoulder, you got your head, right here. And then we zoom out, and what do we see? Double top, triple top, quadruple top. Bear market. Wrong. Don't take investment advice from a trader, all right? Wrong. Wrong. All right, so listen. That's what XRP is doing, in my opinion. It's just flirting with that all-time high range. It's trying to break above. Same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum is right there at the previous all-time high. And it's going to take a little bit to get above there. It's pretty rare that you just see it just bust right through. So that's what I anticipate for both of those assets. Both of them. Help! What's up, Redemption? How do you classify what is a large and a mid cap? Okay, good. So to me, anything above, let's pull up another coin market cap because I'm gonna leave that there for braggadocious reasons. You know me, I like to pull up the receipts. Anything above, I'm gonna say like. What's in the top 50? What's in the top 100? Okay, so pretty much everything in the top 100 is above 600 million. So I'll say anything above $500 million market cap is a large market cap. Okay, between $100 million market cap and 500 to me is a mid cap. Below 100 million to 10 million is a small cap. And then below 10 million is a micro atomic. What's up? What's the lowdown for Solnic? Solnic's held up pretty well in this correction. The Solnic army is strong. The sun never sets on the Solnic army. Where are you? Where are you? I passed it somewhere. I got too many coins on here. Bro, where's my daggone... Whatever. So yeah, looking pretty good. High or low? I mean, it's a green day. By the way, on top of the 200 moving average now, and quietly, we have just put ourselves in the most bullish posture. What does that mean? What am I talking about? 200 on top of the 100. Let me make sure. Yep, right here. So we can see this posture right here? That's what I'm talking about. Like really coiled up, higher highs, higher lows, grueling down, you go into higher highs, higher lows. And then what are we talking about? So like you get all coiled up right here. I'm talking about these moving averages is what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So you get all coiled up. And for me, the blue one is the 200 moving average. You want the 200 to be on the bottom. The teal, I don't know my colors like that, bro. This like light blue, baby blue, that's the 100 moving average. This is the 50 moving average. This is the 20 moving average. When the red is on top of the orange, on top of the light blue, on top of the blue, for me, your colors might be different. But just 20 on top of 50, on top of 100, on top of 200. That's the most bullish posture. When you get across to the upside, for any asset, not just Solnic, any asset, that's the most bullish posture. And a lot of times the 200 for any asset can be resistance, or it is resistance. Like right here, like we were grueling down, you go to the 200, you get rejected off of it before reaccumulating and then going higher. Once you got above it, it broke above it violently, putting it in the posture. Okay, so what'd you see? Like the moving average is coiled up, rejection off the 200, back test, go up above it, 200 gets on the bottom, and then that puts it in the most bullish posture. So now let's fast forward. What do we see? Today, the 200 is now on the bottom. The 100 is second. The 50 is third. And the 20 moving average is first. That is the most bullish posture. We just had a cross. We just got coiled up just the same. And we are on top of the 20 moving average again. If we can put in another higher high, which we already did, that could look really good. That could be very crazy looking for Solnic. I don't want to be FOMO-y here, but this was clearly a higher high, and this was clearly a higher low, and a higher low, and a higher low again. All right? That's exactly what we had over here. Same thing. All right, let's... Is it good to buy the boring? It's absolutely the best to buy the boring. Can you explain how you come up with low and mid caps? I did. It's just based off of market cap. That's what the cap stands for. Market cap. Hey, Ski, looking for any moderators? I'm your boy. All right, I got you, bro. Thanks for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw! I appreciate you, brother. Ski, which altcoins can give me 10x easily? There's nothing easy in this space because do you have the emotional intelligence? Do you have the emotional fortitude? That's not easy. That is the game. The emotional manipulation. Can you endure that? Can you endure a little 5% correction like we had today? Are you feeling yourself freaking out today with a 5% correction? If yes, it's not an easy 10x because you have to endure that. Not only do you have to endure it, you have to know that these are the times to buy and not be like freaking out. Oh my God, are we going into the bear market? So there's no 10x easy because the hard part is the emotional intelligence, the emotional fortitude, the emotional understanding of knowing you're being manipulated. It's hard to step outside of that and understand that, right? So that's the biggest factor of getting a 10x, 100x, 1000x is you. You are the biggest factor, okay? There's power in that. So get a daggone journal, okay? And maybe see a therapist. I don't know. But you got to figure that part out. But I like coins that I think will 10x. But it's not going to be easy because you have to handle a little correction like this without freaking out. Right? I think VeChain will 5 to 10x. I think Uni will 5 to 10x plus. I think XYO will 10x plus. I think Solnic definitely is going to 10x plus. What else? LCX I think will 5 to 10x. I think Flux will 5 to 10x. I think Dynex will 10x plus. A lot of my value plays. I think Link will probably 5x. Dot could 5 to 10x. I don't want to say ADA will 10x from here because it's already up a decent bit from April. It probably is only gonna. What do I think it's gonna do from here? No, it could like 5x, yeah. So it's 2.4, yeah. 7x I think is the highest, yeah. So it could 5 to 7x ADA. I don't think it'll 10x. It could. Lots of stuff is going to 10x. The question is, are you going to have the strategy to exit properly? Are you going to have the emotional intelligence, emotional fortitude to endure the dips along the way and not be shaketh from your bag and not be not have your wealth stolen from you by fear? Not have your wealth stolen from you by manipulation. That's the key. Because that doesn't stop. That doesn't go away at any point. What happens is you grow and you become callous to it, or you get shiny object syndrome and you go do something else and you wait for it to pick up again and then you buy the top and you just rinse and repeat. You either keep buying the top, selling the bottom, you keep doing that, or you learn from your lessons, you learn from your mistakes, you grow. Those are your options. You pick. So, like, it's going to be painful. I'm telling you right now. The pain is like you get to choose your pain. You get to choose your suffering. Is it the suffering of FOMOing, buying the top, getting wrecked, or is it the pain and suffering of learning, enduring emotional intelligence? Which pain and suffering do you want? Like there will be pain and suffering. There will be growth. There will be growing pains. Do you want the pain and suffering of buying the top, getting wrecked? Do you want the pain and suffering of enduring emotional manipulation and mastering yourself? None of those are going to be easy. They will both be painful, I promise you. But you choose which one you would rather have. ICP will most likely blow away the entire market. The more that people are like convinced that ICP is dead, the more bullish I am on ICP. How about Rose? I like Rose. 15 cents, 38 cents, 88 cents. VeChain 10x, 100%. She says, I've had enough pain. I'm tired, boss. Well, that's too damn bad. Your market cap definition is very bad. Okay, good, bro. Well, go live and give your definition. That's my definition. Go live and give your definition, then, bro. Casper price predictions, 66 cents, 45 cents low or medium, 25 cents. Caspa is a blue chip, no debate yet. Caspa, I think definitely is a blue chip. What's the market cap of Caspa? Like definitely, yeah. It's number 43. It's over. It's 2 billion, 2.4 billion. Yeah, definitely. If you're over a billion, you're in the blue chip. ADA 2468. Ski, what's your thoughts on the next 2 months? I think August is going to be bullish. I think we're going to front run the rate cuts. I think we're going to have a temporary dip in September after the rate cuts. People think rate cuts equals rocket ships. That is not true. I do think that we will have a pretty significant correction. I will give you... I present to the court. I present to the jury. Episode or evidence piece number 1. If I can present it to the jury... same thing, by the way. I'm going to show you this right here. Okay. This is basically exactly what I think is going to happen for Ethereum. So you can't even see it. I'm going to move this white little line right here to this big dip right here. It doesn't really look like a big dip, but everyone see this like correction right here. I'm going to put this white line here just to represent that, so we can see it, and then we're gonna zoom out, and it's just like, what the hell? Like, what is that? Just a blip on the radar, whatever. That ain't nothing, y'all. That ain't nothing. But I need y'all to understand that's a 34% correction on Ethereum. On Ethereum, that's a 34% correction. Okay, that's pretty steep. That's a 34% correction. I need y'all to understand that. And it's basically what I've been talking about of like a breakout back test of the prior range. That's exactly what I think is going to happen for Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to break out of its all-time high because basically Ethereum's like right here, right? It's just flirting with an all-time high, right? In fact, let me pull up 2 Ethereums and we'll show what I'm talking about because I don't want you to think about it. I want to show you. I'm from Missouri. You got to show me, son. I'm not from Missouri, but my drill sergeant used to tell me that. All right. All right, so you can see I'll circle the dates here. Here we go. Previous all-time high. We can see Ethereum is basically flirting with it right now. Okay, same thing. Like here is the all-time high actually. So basically, let me delete this other one actually, because so basically where we're at is right here in my opinion, structurally. And that's what I think. I think Ethereum is going to make an all-time high this month. The next, and I'm counting like up to September 7th before the rate cuts. So I'm saying like the next 30 days really is what I'm saying. Not like, oh, it's September 2nd. What the hell, Ski? We're still ripping. No. All right. So Ethereum makes an all-time high, breaks above it, as we can see. So basically, I think that we are right here. Ethereum breaks above it and then back tests the prior range. I need y'all to know that 34%, like we're crying over 5%. Again, do you want the pain and suffering of buying the top, selling the bottom, getting wrecked again and again and again? Or do you want the pain and suffering of enduring emotional manipulation and growing emotionally? Like, you pick which one you want, because you got to pick. One will be chosen for you, I can assure you. One will be chosen for you. Okay? That's a 34% correction. Do you understand people are crying about a 5% dip today? I don't know if y'all are ready for that. But this would imply a new all-time high. I think it could get as high as 5,500. What's your thoughts on Jasmine? 10, 11, 12 cents. Low, medium, high. Chainlink TA. My bad, bro. I forgot about you. What can total market cap? Roberto says, I've learned so much from you and your channel. Thank you. I appreciate that, bro. That's my goal. That is my goal, is to teach. I don't want to be anybody's savior. I want to help you learn how to fish. That's my goal. I don't want you to look at me as like, oh, Ski said this, I'm doing this, just blindly following me. I don't want that. That's not my goal. My goal is to teach you how to fish. Not every time I cast it in this spot right here, just like Ski did, I get a fish. Like, why? What are we doing? What are we doing? All right. I appreciate that, though. Let's look at Chainlink. Chainlink's at the 702 on market cap. I really like the structure of Chainlink from here. I think that Chainlink gets to about 50 billion, as high as $70 billion market cap. What is the ROI on that? I believe in Chainlink for 10 years. That's a 2.5x. Like, most of my Chainlink was at $6, $6, $7, $8. I accumulated a lot of that. Like for my kids' portfolio. If you think I'm lying, like, it's been a year here. I lied. It's been 530 days there. Most of my kids' portfolio has Chainlink at this price right here. That's when I got a lot of the Chainlink for them. Thank you for the $5 donation, brother. I appreciate you. What's up, Ski? Can you give some price targets on Ardrum? All right. Anything with inflation, I'm going to do market cap if possible, because that's going to be more accurate. So market cap, it's already at the 702, and my target is 3.9 billion, as high as 5.2 billion market cap. That's a 2.3x, as high as a 3.5x from here. What does your third 3D chart look like? What are you talking about, 3D? 3 days? ADA prediction 2468. What's your perspective on XRP? My target for XRP still, since 30 cents has been $5, $8, and $12 today. My target for XRP is still $5, $8, and $12. Low, medium, high. Oh, my link is there too. That's right, because like that's the emotional intelligence. That's, you know, just buy the boring. People say it's dead. Great. AVAX 180 to 40. I'm in Europe. It's late ski. Good night. Good night, brother. If you, by the way, all my live streams are on YouTube. So if you're in Europe, I appreciate the support. But you know, I go live kind of random times. I try to stick to a schedule, but I don't. But if you ever miss a live stream, no worries. It's on YouTube for free. So bring the stogie back. I just smoked a. That's my like pre-live ritual. I always smoke a cigar before every live stream. That is like my ritual. I will smoke a cigar and just like be outside touching grass every day. That's what I do every day before I go live. What do you think about Pale and Ondo? I think Ondo will 3x from here. Do you think Ondo can hit $5? I don't remember. All right, again, Ondo has inflation, so I'm gonna do analysis on market cap. Okay, market cap is the truth. 7 billion to 12 billion. I don't know what that is for ROI. That's a 1.2x, 2.2x, 3.2x. So 3.2x for Ondo, maximum parabolic. What is that? $4.2. Can it go to $5? It's plausible. I don't think it's likely though. $3x on Ardrum. What was my target on Ardrum? I don't remember. I'll tell you one time for the one time. $4 billion market cap. Again, if there's inflation on a coin, you will get an accurate reading even with inflation if you look at market cap. Market cap is the true price. I don't care what the XRP army tells you. Listen, XRP is my second largest holding. Market cap is the true price of a project. Let me say it again. Market cap is the true price of a project. That factors in inflation. Bro, what the heck? Oh, man. So basically, altcoins with inflation this cycle will have better ROI next cycle. Maybe. It depends on like how long is their inflation drug out, right? I don't know the answer to that question. But like I'll give you an example of a coin that I think is going to perform really well. And I'll just show it to you on here. This cycle, but had a lot of inflation last cycle. And it, like, here was 2017. Here's 2021. It didn't even retrace, right? But if we look at the circulating supply, it is 100% circulating. Okay? And I've done my analysis from here. I'm not even counting any of this. I'm doing my analysis from here because that's when all the supply dumpage was, right? We look at market cap, right? These are the same dates. It's an important note. What does that tell you? That tells us that Dent, it's a project that I like. It was like 2 cycles ago, new project with lots of inflation, right? Pick your project. I don't care. and it doesn't have inflation anymore, I like it a lot now. But like this point right here, the top of this is the same as the top of this point right here. The farthest peak to the left is the same as the farthest peak to the left. That the green one is price, the blue one is market cap. Market cap is the true price. And look, the peak in the middle is the same little bitty peak in the middle. That's the same time frame. What does that mean? Like this project from 2017 to 2021 dumped a ton of supply. What happened? Did it perform well? Like if you bought this like at 37 or 3.7 cents, 5 cents, and then all you got, I want you to imagine buying this in 2017. Let's say you bought it at like 2 cents, right? Not the top. The top was what? 7 cents. Let's just say you bought it at 2 cents, 3 cents. And then you waited for years, right? Years. And all it did was go up to 1 cent. Like, how pissed are you going to be? But like, that's the reality of a lot of projects that have a lot of inflation. That is the reality, because when we show it, like what happened? Market cap went parabolic. That's parabolic. That is parabolic. That means the amount of dollars that were invested were parabolic, even though the price was not. Now, full circle on Dent, the inflation, 100% circulating. We are no longer battling inflation on Dent. Right? So to, who asked me that question? SM26. So he says, so basically, all coins with inflation this cycle will have better ROI next cycle. Right? So basically, to me, Dent is the OG Filecoin. Dent is the OG Arrow. Dent is the OG Ondo. Dent is the OG, like, it was one of the first ones that did it, and we have data to show what did it do from cycle to cycle with inflation. Now, this cycle, I actually think Dent is going to perform very well. Very well. Because 100% of the supply is circulating. We are no longer fighting inflation on Dent. Every dollar that gets invested is going straight to the price. It's not going to the founders. And that's what inflation is. It's dollars that are invested that is like a leaking hole in the drain that goes straight into the pockets of the developers. That's what inflation is. However you want to slice it, that's what it is. I don't care what the project is. That's what it is. Vitho, GRT. What the hell is XRP doing? Pepe, AVAX, or Doge for ROI from here? Probably AVAX or Doge. I'm not sure. Not Pepe, though, in my opinion. Same with meme coins. Like, that's the benefit of a lot of meme coins, to be honest with you. So the meme coins from 2017 and 2021, like Dogecoin, they have inflation. The meme coins from this cycle, especially, like, a lot of them don't have inflation. A lot of them have 100% of the circulating supply is dropped from the beginning. Like it or love it or hate it, a lot of meme coins, a huge percentage, have better tokenomics than fundamental coins. Great info. Thanks for the cap. By the time Dent ran out of inflation, it's still developing. It's still active. Like, people are still posting today on Dent. I don't know that it's dead. People call everything dead that is boring. To me, that's a bullish. Dead to me is bullish. How many times has Bitcoin been called dead? I don't know that All right. Ski, what do you think about LQLUK? So my friends bought it. I'm not sure about the project at all. Luxo. I don't even know how to say this. I've never heard about it. I can look, see if we can find it on CoinMarketCap. I don't know nothing about it. And like, if you're calling Den a scam, sure, fine, but like, you're gonna be calling a lot of things that people love this cycle a scam because they're gonna do a lot of the same thing. Because inflation is the death of ROI. I promise you. Like, I don't care what Morpheo does. I don't care what Aerodrome does fundamentally. I don't care what any project does fundamentally. If they cure cancer, if they solve world hunger, if they are the next AI that's going to cure poverty for everyone, I don't care what they do. If they're dumping supply in your head, it's the death of ROI. I don't care how much on-chain data and development is going on this project. If they have a lot of inflation, it's the death of ROI, period. And anybody that tells you otherwise, skip the first rule of economics. And the first rule of economics are supply plus demand equals price. Not what you do, not who you help, supply. What is the supply of the project? What's available? What will be available? Supply. Supply is the first part of the equation. And like, we make things so complicated, but that is literally lesson number 1 from Economics 101. And we get so cute and we get so complicated and we try to show everybody how smart we are because, well, I read all this and they're doing this and supply. Like, don't get so cute that you miss the plot. You know what I mean? All right. That's enough. I will get off my soapbox. All right. Market cap, $36 million market cap. FDV is $50 million market cap. So a little bit of inflation, but I would say within reason. That's below, for me, the threshold is 40%. That's pass fail what I'm really willing to tolerate. That is below 40%. Let's look at the chart. What was it? I don't know that I can even find a chart on this. I don't love this chart. I don't like it when projects take out like huge levels like this. I'm going to pull a fib from here. Retracement, $9. Parabolic, $39. I mean, that's still what is that, an 8x, 7x? I would be happy with that. 6x for a retracement. I would definitely de-risk there. I don't know anything about this project. What do you think, Pi and Luna? Pi has a crazy amount of inflation. Also, like, I'm a miner. As in, like, I have a Bitcoin mining farm. I know what mining is. I understand it deeply. I don't like it when a project is like, you can mine with your phone. No, you can't. What they're doing is they're mining your data, and then they're selling it. And then they give you a reward for that. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. But, like, I think it's a little bit misleading to people to think that they're mining the blockchain with their phone. No, no, you're not. Your data is being mined, and they're selling that, and that's okay if you want to sell your data and make money. Hey, at least it's better than what Facebook is doing, right? At least it's better than what Google is doing, right? Just like you don't even get paid for it. So, I mean, at least they're doing better, right? It's a step in the right direction. But, yes, same thing, though. $3 billion, $38 billion market cap. This, like, that's a ton of inflation. That's a lot. That's 10x. Only 7.8% of the supply is circulating. That means they are going to dump 92.27% of the total supply will be dumped from now until whenever. That means for every 1 pi you have, you will need approximately 11 pi to equal that 1 pi at some point in the future. That's a lot. So I'm not a believer in pi. I would love to be face meltingly wrong about it, though. But I know a buddy of mine has been trying to get me on pi for a while, and he made some money on it. And again, like, I'm pumped, but I'm gonna stick with what served me, and maybe I miss a couple of things. But that to me is like, I don't believe what they're saying. I don't believe what they're selling. Like, they're selling an idea that you're mining the blockchain with your phone. I don't believe that for a second, because I am a miner and I know what the computational power. I know, like, you're not just gonna have your phone on. That's not what's happening. It's not. They're mining your data, and that's fine. To be paid for your data, again, is better than what Facebook is doing. It's better than what Google is doing. You know, it's better than what all these companies are doing, I think. But there's a lot of inflation on this to be in the future. Anyways, thank you for the $2 donation. Yes, Savage. How about DGB targets? Can it 10x from here? And listen, guys, I don't want to, like, I'm generally pretty positive. I'm, more bullish than not, because ultimately, like, we're betting against the dollar, and I'm super bearish on the dollar. When you invest in cryptocurrency, you're betting against the dollar. I think that's a pretty good bet. Like, you're fundamentally saying, when you buy Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, you are fundamentally saying that I think that there will be less supply of this, and I think the governments will print more money than what exists with this. Over a long enough period of time, I think that's a good bet. You know what I mean? I think that's a good bet. So generally, I'm more bullish than not. I definitely have moments where I'm bearish in the micro, but like on a long enough time horizon, I am bullish. I promise you that. However, I don't think in one of my biggest pet peeves. I have two major pet peeves in cryptocurrency. About like information being properly portrayed. And I think as content creators, we have a responsibility to portray the correct information. My number one pet peeve is that there's a notion that if a project does something cool, that will outweigh inflation. No, it does not. It does not. Like, why does the dollar suck? Because they're dumping supply on your head. If a cryptocurrency is called a cryptocurrency, but they're doing the same activities as the US government and dumping supply on your head, it's no better. You know what I mean? Retracement for DGB is a 6 cents. That's a 9x. I think that will happen. I don't remember there being a lot of inflation on this project. I could be wrong on that. Let's see. 164, 193, 84% is already circulating. So no, there's not a lot of inflation. There's not a lot of inflation on Bro, I didn't study for this test. Yeah, I think it could 10x. So that's my biggest pet peeve in the crypto space is this idea that, especially we perpetuate to people who don't know, like crypto is already confusing enough, you know, and people just think that, well, I mean, it's awesome. It's curing cancer. It's turning water into wine. Like, of course it's going to go up. And it's really not that simple. In fact, it's way more simple, but we make it too complicated. It's what is the supply? What is the demand? That's it. We make things way too complicated, and we try to get too cute, and we try to get fancy, and we try to like prove how smart we are, and that's wrong, and I think it's misleading. That's my number one pet peeve. My number two pet peeve is when we call crypto hacks, right, with Ledger or Phantom. People say my wallet got hacked. It's like, no, it didn't, bro. It got phished. That's different than a hack. That's a phishing attack, and that's different than a hack. And see, again, back to the confusion, the lack of like knowledge of what is fundamentally happening. If we call something a hack and people don't understand, they think, my God, is my stuff at risk at being hacked? Is someone just like brute forcing, like sticking in a USB going, bing, we got it? No. That's not what's happening. What's happening is the same thing that happens in a corporate world where they send out a phishing attack email and you click on malware and you accept it, just the same as what happens in the corporate world. And you get all this education on don't click on this malicious links. It's not a hack though. It's a phishing attack. That's my second biggest pet peeve, is us as creators. And I'm talking to my peers, us as creators calling a phishing attack a hack, because that bodes with uncertainty of new people, and uncertainty, there's already enough of it in the space. We need to be crystal clear in our words. Rule number 1 of the 4 agreements: be ferocious with your words, be impeccable with your words. So when we call stuff a hack, that's not a hack. It leads to uncertainty for people, and that's not good. All right, that's enough. Enough of my TED Talks. Enough. What's happened to his volume? Is my volume good? Thoughts on GRT? GRT, another big offender of the inflation bug. I don't love it. What do you say for Pingu? Pingu's done a 9x. Like, that's awesome. You know what I mean? I don't think it has another 9x in it. Got rejected off the all-time high. We'll see what it does. I imagine it's going to reaccumulate before going higher. And I think it has about another 1 to 2x left in it. 11 cents. Sound is great. Okay, thanks, Crypto Crew. Maybe 5. The volume dropped some earlier. Interesting. I did not do anything. Huh. Test. Is that better? Do we have static? I think I bumped it. I think I bumped the volume. Hold up. There we go. Good to me. All right. I didn't see anything, but it randomly dropped mid-sentence. Interesting. I don't know why that happened. Maybe I bumped it or something. All right, guys. Reminder, I think I have 3 slots available If you want to get a personalized portfolio review, exit strategy, lifetime access to my course, and a one-on-one consultation with me, I have 3 slots available for this week. They fill up pretty quickly. So if you guys are interested in that, hit me in the DMs for that. But that is going to be it for this time. I will never message you first. Those are scammers. For the love of God, do not get scammed. I'm not going to message you and say, how's your trading going? Guess what? I love you, but I don't care. I got my own stuff going on. I don't care about your trading. I hope to help you someday. I hope to help you learn how to fish. But I'm not going to, I don't care enough to go out of my way to message you about it. I promise you. I promise you. I'm busy enough as it is. I forget to text my own family back sometimes. If I show you my phone right now, real quick, before, I'm going to just show you. I have 263 missed calls. I have 79 text messages. I don't know if y'all can see that. Bro, I don't even text back my own people. You think I'm just like texting you? No, I'm not doing it. It's not me. That's somebody from Pakistan, Kakistan, Turkestan, Afghanistan. It ain't me, though. All right, but that's going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Be there or be square. It's tomorrow Friday. Okay, so tomorrow I should be live twice. Once with Alex in the morning and once in the afternoon. 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time with Alex. And then in the evening, whenever I get around to it. All right, but that's going to be it for this